I would like to share a few more learnings about Bhav Samadhi with you. Okay, some interesting points. And then I'll end this with an humorous story also. I mean, an incident that happened actually, right? So this is actually to give you a more, I don't know if I can claim it as a 360-degree view of Bhava Samadhi, okay? But it's only a view. I cannot give you Bhava Samadhi. You will have to request Swamiji for that, okay? You will have to beg Swamiji, you will have to pray to Swamiji to get the Bhava Samadhi or to experience the Bhava Samadhi. See, there has been a question like, how come some people get Bhava Samadhi and some don't? Some experience Bhava Samadhi, some don't. And from our observation, we don't see any relationship between, how long the person has been a devotee of Swamiji or not. People who have been with Swamiji for years together, like me, never experienced trance. I never experienced Bhava Samadhi. Never in my life. Although I spent the whole of my life with Swamiji. Okay, I was a devotee of Swamiji for the whole of my life, right from birth. But I came to the ashram at the age of 23. So now I am 60, now 61 almost. So like almost 40 years I have been with Swamiji, close to Swamiji. I never experienced Bhava Samadhi. Okay. So that's why the question. How come some people experience Bhava Samadhi, some don't? Okay. I have given some answers in the last session. So I would like to continue from that. One of the answers is that, those who need the Bhava Samadhi for whatever purpose, it could be for healing, okay? It could be to exorcise a ghost also, okay? Like this, there could be several reasons why Swamiji gives trance to those who need it. What I mean by that is, think of an example where a little child is complaining to his mother and crying, saying that, Amma, you gave the cough syrup to my Anna, but you didn't give it to me. And then he starts crying because he likes the cough syrup, right? It's sweet, so he likes it, but he's not getting his. Only his elder brother is getting it, so he's complaining. I mean, it's obvious, right? I don't need to explain further. The elder brother has a cough, that's why he requires cough syrup. He's given cough syrup. The younger brother doesn't need it, that's why he doesn't get it. Okay, so that also applies to devotees. Those devotees who need Bhava Samadhi for a specific purpose, Swamiji gives them the Bhava Samadhi. If the others don't need the Bhava Samadhi, he doesn't give it to them. Okay? Then again, there is another aspect. I mean, it would be dishonest on my part if I don't share this, having talked about Bhava Samadhi so much, right? And specifically in response to this question as to why some devotees get it and why some devotees don't get it. The same question was asked of Swamiji in Agra. Okay, so Swamiji used to go to Agra almost on a yearly basis. Every year during the summer, for some days, for a few days, he would go and stay at a devotee's house. I mean, the devotee was an erstwhile king there. So he had a huge palace and he would host Swamiji at his palace. So Swamiji used to live there, I mean, stay there for those few days. And a lot of people from Agra and the places around, they would go and visit Swamiji, and they used to have a program every evening, regular, like what we have, right? Meditation, bhajan, then prasad. Then there used to be a discussion with Swamiji. These devotees would come and talk to Swamiji. Swamiji would crack jokes and then they would enjoy it. So this was what used to happen there. It seems some devotees started getting Bhav Samadhi. So they would dance, they would go into different postures, okay? But again, it was observed that only some of them get it and the others don't. Again, they found no relationship between age and who gets trance, right? Between who are senior devotees, but sometimes senior devotees also don't get it. Sometimes very close devotees don't get it, but some other devotees who just visit Swamiji for a few minutes, they also get it. So there were some people, who went and asked Swamiji. These people, it seems, were Chaturvedis. I mean, we hear that this surname, right? Chaturvedi. Actually, what it means is that family. I mean, it's now it has become a family name. Okay, it comes from father to son, but that was not the way it used to be. Only a person. It's actually a qualification. Chaturvedi, Trivedi, Dvivedi, Vedi, all these are qualifications that were given by universities in the olden days to people who have studied all the four Vedas, Chaturvedi, three Vedas, Trivedi, two Vedas, Dvivedi, okay? And a person who has studied only one Veda, he is just called a Vedi, that's all. Okay, but over time the whole thing changed and then now it has become a family name. So a guy who doesn't know any Veda is also called Chaturvedi, okay? Because it has become his surname now. But then I am talking about Agra probably in the 60s, mid 60s, 65 to 69, something like that, right? So there were a few devotees who were actually Chaturvedis and Trivedis, okay? And because of their scriptural knowledge, they have studied a lot of scriptures, they have studied the Vedas, they have understood them. But by profession, there were lawyers, advocates, and they were doing something else. But they had good knowledge of the Vedas and the scriptures of our Sanatana Dharma. So they picked up an argument with Swamiji. How come a guy who doesn't know any Vedas, he has not studied any Vedas, we know that, okay? How come he or she is getting Bhav Samadhi, whereas we people who have studied all the Vedas, who know everything about God or the Vedanta, we don't experience Bhav Samadhi. Why is this? How can it be like this? It seems Swamiji told them, whatever you are doing now, all the spiritual sadhana or the practices that you are doing now, these people have finished them in their previous lifetimes themselves itself. Okay, that is the reason they have come to the next stage, which is Bhav Samadhi. Okay. So that used to annoy them, So because when people who are much junior, much younger in age, they would experience the Bhava Samadhi. And the senior most people, who considered themselves very well educated in Vedas, more knowledgeable, and everybody else also considered them and respected them for that. But they would not experience the Bhava Samadhi. So they were irritated, they were annoyed, so they picked up an argument with Swamiji. And this is the answer that Swamiji gave, okay? Meaning those who are experiencing Bhava Samadhi now, which is a very advanced state of spiritual experience, okay, spiritual state, because they have completed all the prerequisites in the previous janmas. In this janma, you may say that they are not studied anything. But whatever needs to be studied, they have studied in the previous janma itself. Janmas, probably. Okay? So in this janma, they have come to the stage where they can experience Bhava Samadhi. Okay? So that's a story. That is one part of it. But then I have also, I can say with some level of conviction that most of the devotees, I cannot say almost because there are other reasons for Swamiji to give trance, but most of the devotees who experience Bhava Samadhi, they have prayed Swamiji. They have begged Swamiji to give them the experience, okay? Either directly or indirectly, probably in their mind. I'm not getting the right word for that. They have asked Swamiji to gift them the Bhav Samadhi. Okay? We checked with a lot of people. Sometime or the other, either they saw other people in Bhav Samadhi and they thought, how is this Bhav Samadhi? How does it feel? What happens when you experience that? So that they developed the curiosity, then they went and asked Swamiji for that, and Swamiji gave them the Bhav Samadhi. Okay? Now, just a little incident which is very interesting. In May 2018, we conducted a workshop, a summer workshop for devotees at the ashram in JP Nagar. Basically, it was meant for children, okay? But we didn't stop anybody from participating. But the design, the way we designed it is to suit the children who don't know about Swamiji, and we are teaching them about Swamiji, Swamiji's life, Swamiji's mission. And Bhav Samadhi was a part of the mission, right? So we we were trying to talk to them about the Bhav Samadhi also. The experience of Bhav Samadhi, what is it, what happens, when does it happen, and all that. Okay. So the first day it was talked about, and then all the children went and participated in the bhajan in the evening because bhajan was also part of the workshop. Okay. So they participated in the bhajan also, and there they saw that some people experienced Bhav Samadhi, including very little children, very young children, 5 years, 6 years, 8 years of age, girls and boys, they experienced Bhav Samadhi. So all the other children observed them, and they have been told what Bhav Samadhi is, what trance is. And here they could actually see some of their classmates. I mean, in the sense that they all attended the same workshop, people who have been eating with them, people who have been playing or joking with them, sitting in the workshop along with them, they were experiencing the Bhav Samadhi. Okay? So in the next day's classroom session, this topic came up. What is this experience? What is actually happening? Can you explain in more detail? Okay? Then what I did was I asked a couple of the girls, young girls, okay, 8 years, probably 10 years, I asked them to stand up and explain, narrate what happened to them the previous day evening during the bhajan. And they talked about it very happily, okay? Young children, but they talked very nicely about what their experience was. Then I encouraged the others to ask them questions. They asked, these people answered. Then I think it developed a sort of curiosity and an interest. I also would like to taste that experience. How does it feel? What happens to you? The answer was, I mean, you feel very good about it. You want it again and again. So it must be really very good. I also would like to taste it. Right? So I could sense this desire in the children there, in the classroom session. Then I told them, see, if you want trance, pray to Swamiji. Okay? Go and pray to Swamiji sincerely. Ask him to give you trance. And you will get trance. Okay? And see, this is the pure mind of the children, right? They believed what I said, probably. And that day evening's bhajan session, about 80% of the children were in trance. They were all dancing, they were all sitting with their eyes closed, and then they all experienced trance. So many of them, they were just new to the ashram, new to Swamiji. They had just come for that workshop, for the 3-day workshop, that's all. And many of them started experiencing trance. Okay? So, it is such observations that lead me to believe that most of the devotees who experience Bhava Samadhi, they actually ask for it. They pray to Swamiji, Swamiji, please give us Bhava Samadhi. Okay? So that is one part of it that I wanted to share. And Swamiji had very high regard, apparently, for devotees who experienced Bhava Samadhi. Okay? I mean, actually, in a couple of instances, I mean, I was at the Bangalore ashram. So I had come into the ashram in 83 or so, right? Then some of the devotees, Swamiji himself introduced to me, saying that these are Punakamu Swamilu, meaning these are people who experience Bhav Samadhi. Punaka is the Telugu word for Bhav Samadhi, okay, or in English. See, the term that he used for them is also Punakamu Swamilu. He would address them as Swamis. And that is what he trained us to do. In case we find that a person in Bhav Samadhi is disturbing the others or doing something that should not be done in that venue or something like that, right? Then the volunteers, I mean, people like me, the other devotees who would try to control the other devotees or the crowds in that venue, right? So those volunteers could go and speak to these devotees in trance, but address them respectfully as Swamiji, irrespective of which trance was in them. Meaning, a person who was in Hanuman's trance or Lord Shiva's trance or Devi's trance, we could address them as Swamiji. And we have to address them respectfully as Swami, not by their name or not in any other way. Okay? Address them respectfully and Swami, and then request them not to disturb, not to do what they are doing, if it is not acceptable there. For example, a devotee was in the trance of Kumaraswamy, and this program was going on at a Devi temple. Okay? So this devotee who was in Kumaraswamy's trance, actually it was Kannan himself. Then he tried to enter the Garbhagudi of the temple, the sanctum sanctorum of the temple. He was entering that. And the priests were, they were actually afraid looking at him, doing all the dances and the ferocious look and all that. So as he was entering the temple, they knew that nobody is allowed inside the sanctum sanctorum, but they were afraid to stop him. Okay, then I had to intervene. I had to go and pray to him, saying that, Swamiji, it's a rule here that nobody enters the sanctum sanctorum. So please don't enter the sanctum sanctorum. Be here with us, because the priests are objecting to it. So he stopped. But later on he came to me and he said, I am Kumaraswamy. Okay? She is my mother. How dare you people stop me from going to her? She is my mother. What's the answer I gave? Nothing. You guys have made a rule and you want everybody to follow it, including Kumaraswamy. But then because I went and begged him, prayed to him, we may have trouble here. The priests, if they object, we have gone there as guests. This actually happened in Sri Lanka. We are from a different country. We have gone there as guests on their invitation. And if we break the rule there, they will not be happy about it, right? So I had to beg Kumaraswamy. Although I knew it was Kumaraswamy, I knew why he was going inside. Saying, Swami, please don't enter the sanctum sanctorum, because the local rules don't allow that. They don't want anybody else to go inside. They are looking at the human being there, right? Not Kumaraswamy. They are seeing Kannan entering the temple. They are not seeing Kumaraswamy entering the temple. So he stopped. Okay? So that is, the point I'm trying to make is, Swamiji would regard them highly, and he also trained us to respect them. Okay? But unfortunately, human beings have this tendency to misuse everything that they are given. Right from a matchstick to an atom bomb, they can misuse anything and everything. Okay? Given the authority, they will misuse it. Okay? So I have seen instances where, a devotee who used to get Bhav Samadhi, and we could see them in the hall while the bhajan was going on. They were in intense Bhav Samadhi. They were dancing and shouting and all that. But then Swamiji used to ridicule them privately in his chambers. Okay, so I've seen that also. I'm trying to share, as I said earlier, a 360-degree view or experience about that, right? So we have seen that part also, where devotees who experience Bhava Samadhi have misused that. I'm referring to this one devotee who used to claim some sort of superiority, some exclusivity, because she experiences trance. But I know that Swamiji didn't recognize any of that. Although he didn't deny that she was getting trance. Okay, now that's the other warning that I should share with you. Swamiji warned us. Swamiji warned me and Yashodaka. Okay, never try to doubt the genuineness of trance. Meaning, if a devotee is in trance, okay, is behaving as if he or she is in trance, it is not up to us to determine whether it is genuine trance or not. We are not supposed to do it because we don't have the ability to do it. There is no way I can put a thermometer in the mouth and say, yeah, she is in trance or she is not in trance. Okay? No, sorry, there is no way I can measure the extent of trance or whether trance is there or not. I don't have the ability to do that. Neither do any of us, except Swamiji himself, or probably another devotee in trance. While in trance, that devotee can judge and ascertain whether the other devotee is in trance or not, but not otherwise. Okay. So we are not supposed to check or doubt the genuineness of trance on any devotee. Okay. If you believe that it is genuine trance, approach them, seek their blessings, seek blessed vibhuti from them, ask for their guidance, anything that you want to do. And if you doubt their genuineness, simply keep away. Okay? Now, actually, this also happened. See, while Swamiji knew that some devotees were misusing, abusing the Bhav Samadhi, he never exposed them publicly and he never punished them either. Okay? So, I mean, we as devotees of Swamiji, we should try to continue that. We shouldn't make attempts to expose them or ridicule them. No. Okay? We should not do it because our Guru didn't do it. I mean, he could have done it. He had every authority to do it. He could make out whether it is genuine trance or not, and yet he did not do it. So we also should not ridicule people who we believe are not genuinely in trance. We are nobody to judge the genuinity of the trance. Okay, we cannot do it, so we should not do it. That's as simple as that. Okay. Now again, a particular incident about this. A devotee from Jhansi, a very close devotee, very long time devotee of Swamiji, once when he came to Bangalore, he complained to Swamiji that there was another devotee in Jhansi who was misusing trance. I mean, who was extracting money and other things from other devotees because he experiences Bhav Samadhi. So this devotee who came to Bangalore, he complained about that other devotee and his misbehavior to Swamiji. Basically, he was seeking some advice from Swamiji as to what is to be done with this devotee. Swamiji said, don't do anything. Okay? Please ignore that devotee. If you don't like him, if you don't like his misbehavior, don't go to him, don't entertain him, keep away from him. No, but Swamiji, what he is doing is wrong. You know, it'll bring bad name to you also because he is claiming he is Shivabali Yogi Maharaj's devotee and he is doing all this nuisance there. And you will earn a bad name from that. Swamiji's mission will get. Swamiji said, don't worry about that. His own devotees, meaning people who are today his devotees, because he is experiencing Bhava Samadhi, by virtue of his Bhava Samadhi, his own devotees will one day beat him up if he continues this misbehavior. Okay? So you don't have to do anything. Just ignore it. And then it seems exactly that's what happened. I mean, I have not seen it. I have not directly learned about this, but I have been told by devotees in Jhansi that his own devotees, I mean, people whom he considered as his devotees, they turned against him at one point and he was beaten up by them. Okay? So Swamiji doesn't allow his devotees to act, neither does he act, what shall I say, patently. Okay? It's not obvious to us. If there is any punishment, the devotee will suffer by himself or herself. We don't need to do anything. Then there is just another interesting story, and we'll close with this. Okay, this is another example of how Swamiji dealt with fake Bhav Samadhi. I mean, it's not correct to say that either, right? I mean, the devotee continues to experience Bhav Samadhi. It's not that he stops experiencing Bhav Samadhi. I believe he or she continues to experience the Bhav Samadhi, but because they have started misusing it out of their own ego, out of their own selfishness, they are trying to abuse or misuse the Bhav Samadhi, Swamiji has to deal with it. Okay. Now, this is a funny story that Kodandam, I mean, his name is actually Kodanda Ramachandra Reddy. He was a devotee from a village near to Adivarapeta. He is of the same age as of Swamiji. Okay. So, being of the same age, he was very close to Swamiji and also he was like a friend to Swamiji. Okay. I mean, he had very high regard for Swamiji. He was a very committed devotee and disciple of Swamiji. But because of the age, he used to talk with Swamiji, relate with Swamiji as a friend. So this story was narrated to me and Tom by this Kodandam. Okay, so Kodandam is the person in the middle, Tom is the person on the right, and of course, this is Swamiji. This was in March 1994. Okay, so now let's come back to the story. Kodandam told us this. This happened in the early days when Swamiji came to Bangalore from Adivarapeta. I am talking about 1963, probably 64, that time period. There was another devotee of Swamiji from the Adivarapeta area who used to experience Bhav Samadhi and who came over to Bangalore. Okay? And he used to experience Bhav Samadhi even here in Bangalore. And Swamiji actually used him to carry out certain actions. Okay? I mean, in those days, Swamiji never visited any of the devotees' houses. He used to only stay at ashrams. That's all. Okay, but if anybody requested Swamiji for help, and where Swamiji had to go to the house and do something, Swamiji would ask this devotee, not Kodandam, I am talking about the other devotee who used to experience Bhav Samadhi. Okay, and incidentally, Kodandam, like me, never experienced Bhav Samadhi that I know about. Okay, but except for this particular story. Okay, I had never seen him in trance. And he has been with Swamiji for a very, very long time, very close to Swamiji, traveled with Swamiji all over India. Okay, but he was not one of the trance Swamis. So that devotee, Swamiji would send that devotee to the devotee's house in Bangalore. And he would get into Bhav Samadhi of Swamiji and do whatever is necessary there at the house at a different location where Swamiji was not physically present. Okay, so that is how Swamiji used him. So he used to experience this Bhav Samadhi, and then gradually he gathered some popularity. People started believing him and trusting him. They believed that he was Swamiji, he would talk like Swamiji, he would advise, guide like Swamiji, and all that. But then gradually it was observed that this devotee started misusing the Bhav Samadhi. Okay? And then Kodandam tells me that privately inside Swamiji's room, there was a discussion where Swamiji expressed his unhappiness with the behavior of this devotee. I don't know exactly what the misbehavior was. Probably he was demanding some clothes for himself or something like that, something small like that. But Swamiji never approved of that. Okay? It seems, assured Kodandam and other devotees that if a person is genuinely in trance, he will never ask for anything for himself. He will not ask for clothes. Okay? So something like this happened, and Swamiji was unhappy with what this devotee was doing, misusing the Bhav Samadhi. Okay? Then, because he raised that subject, they had a discussion. Kodandam and Swamiji discussed this topic. Suddenly, Kodandam got an idea. Okay, so this devotee is misusing Bhav Samadhi and can potentially get a bad name to Swamiji and Swamiji's mission in Bangalore, which is a new place for Swamiji. He had come from Adivarapeta just then. Okay, so it was a very big risk for them. They didn't want to take it, especially when lot of other Mathadipatis and other gurus around in Bangalore who were afraid that Swamiji was taking over their position, their devotees. So they were working against Swamiji. They were trying to somehow drive Swamiji away. So under that situation, when this devotee was misbehaving, misusing trance, then Swamiji felt that it could be a big risk. And so somehow they have to get rid of this. I mean, the simple thing could have been that Swamiji could have asked him to just leave. Swamiji could have told him directly that what you are doing is wrong. He did not. Note this, okay? Swamiji did not directly talk to him or tell him that you are misusing your trance. Meaning, sometimes you are not genuinely in trance, but you are acting as if you are in trance and you are doing things which you shouldn't be doing. But he didn't tell him this directly. Okay? And Kodandam knew this. Kodandam knew that Swamiji cannot talk to the devotee, although he is doing something wrong. Swamiji will not talk to him about that. Swamiji will not expose him in public, and Swamiji will not even talk to him about this. So what do we do now? We don't want this here. It could bring us a bad name. It could be bad for the mission. So we need to do something about this. So suddenly Kozandam got an idea, it seems. He said, Swamiji, here is an idea. If you approve it, we can go ahead with this. Then, okay, Swamiji said, what is it? He said, Swamiji, tomorrow evening, during the bhajan, when that devotee gets the trance, and incidentally, that devotee used to get the trance of Ravana. Swamiji used to call him Ravana Brahma. Okay? The original Ravana I am talking about. Swamiji used to regard him very highly as a very good devotee of Lord Shiva. So that is the trance, that is the bhava that this devotee used to get in Bhava Samadhi. Ravana's trance. Okay? So he would show the attitude of Ravana while in Bhava Samadhi. So Kozandam told Swamiji, Swamiji, here is the idea. Tomorrow evening, during the bhajan, when that devotee gets the Bhava Samadhi of Ravana, I will get the Bhava Samadhi of Hanuman. You understand what Kozandam is saying, right? He never used to experience Bhava Samadhi, but he said, tomorrow I will act as if I am in Hanuman Bhava Samadhi. And I will go and pick up a fight with him. And I will beat him up. Okay. During the bhajan. Okay. Now, this is the way we can teach him a lesson that what he is doing is wrong. We cannot openly talk to him. We cannot blame him publicly. But we have to teach him a lesson. And this is my idea. If you approve of it, I will do it tomorrow. So Swamiji, it seems, approved that. I say, okay. So tomorrow you can do that. Okay, now try to understand this, right? I mean, we know that it is Swamiji who gives the trance. And here is Kozandam, a close devotee of Swamiji, and they are working together on a plan where Kozandam says, tomorrow evening I will get Hanuman trance, which is not true. And he said, Hanuman will go and pick up a fight with Ravana and beat him up. Swamiji said, yes, go ahead, do that. So the next day, when the bhajan was going on, that particular devotee was in Ravana trance. So Kodandam also went there, sat in meditation for some time, and then suddenly he got up and then he started shouting Jai Sri Ram and started acting as though he was in Bhava Samadhi. Okay? And then Kodandam, while narrating the story, he tells us, I don't really know what happened. Okay? Maybe I really got trance. Maybe Swamiji gave me really the trance, the Bhava Samadhi of Hanuman. But what really happened was that guy was acting as though he was in Ravana trance. Okay? So Kodandam in Hanuman trance went and picked up a fight with him. And the fight went on for a while. And finally, it seems Kodandam picked up that guy with both his hands, lifted him up to the top with his hands raised, and was about to smash him on the ground. Okay? Right from the top, like that. And as he lifted that devotee up and he was about to smash him onto the ground, that guy suddenly started shouting, oh my God, please save me, please save me. Okay? So he was shouting to Swamiji for help. Swamiji, please save me. This guy is about to throw me on the ground. Okay? Then quietly Hanuman put Ravana on the ground without actually smashing him down. He just put him down there and he went on his business. So in this way, that devotee was taught a lesson. So he was exposed. Swamiji didn't have to expose him. So that fear, that he might be smashed on the ground and he might get injured, that fear stopped him from acting and exposed him. Right? Because he shouted to Swamiji, Swamiji, please save me. So he was so embarrassed because of the exposure and so ashamed that the next day evening he came to Swamiji and said, Swamiji, please grant me leave. I would like to go back to Adivarapeta. He must have given some excuse as to why he has to leave. But he left Bangalore and he went away to Adivarapeta. Okay. So this is an example of how people misuse trance and how Swamiji had to deal with that. Okay. Not getting involved in publicly exposing such devotees, but at the same time, making sure that they don't really hurt the mission or the good name of the mission, right? They're not a risk to the mission. Now, this is a devotee by the name of Trimurtulu. He is talking about his experience. One that he narrated is that whenever he is in a in grief, when he is unable to bear the grief, like for example, when his father passed away, he was in extreme grief. So he says during those times he used to experience trance, and so he would not know the grief. Okay, he would get rid of the grief because he would experience trance. Now, to generalize this, I mean, I have observed that the devotees who experience trance, bhav samadhi, when they are in a situation where it is beyond them, okay, that is, they are unable to handle the situation. I don't know if they pray to Swamiji, but the trance takes over. And then the trance deals with that. You understand? So let me repeat that again. So let us say there is a devotee who experiences bhav samadhi. Whenever there is a program, whenever there is a bhajan, this devotee experiences bhava samadhi. Okay. So now this devotee is in a situation, or there is something that happened, and he is unable to face that situation. So then what happens is Swamiji takes over. Okay. And Swamiji protects this devotee psychologically, okay, mentally, and Swamiji deals with that situation. So this devotee is protected from that. I have seen this happen with other devotees also, other devotees who experience Bhava Samadhi. Okay, so that is the first part that he shared with us. The second part is an incident that happened at the old ashram in Bangalore. Okay, this is about 2 kilometers away from the new ashram in JP Nagar. So at the old ashram, we used to have a bhajan every Thursday evening. So Trimurtulu also used to come there. One evening, I think when we were singing Hanuman bhajan, okay, while he was dancing in Bhava Samadhi, he fell down and his head hit the harmonium. Okay, and I think he had a little cut in the head and he was bleeding. Okay, so suddenly the ladies who were there, they rushed to him and they brought a cloth and then they wiped his blood and all that. But Trimurtulu continues to dance as though he was not hurt at all. Okay. Now what Trimurtulu tells us, I mean, then the other devotees suddenly they thought that, so generally we believe that it is the bhajan which causes the bhava samadhi, right, which causes the trance. That's not 100% true. It encourages the trance, but it doesn't cause it. It is Swamiji who causes it. But because they believe that the bhajan is going on at a good pace, at a fast pace, that's why he is in trance and he's already hurt in trance. Why do you want to hurt him more? Okay. So they were saying, stop the trance because he is hurt. The trance Swami is hurt, so please stop the trance. So I told them, no. If we stop the bhajan. Okay. But then I told them that if we stop the bhajan, yes, the trance will go away. But then the devotee will become conscious. Okay, he will lose the bhava samadhi, he will become conscious and he'll start experiencing the pain. Now he is not experiencing the pain. The devotee is not experiencing the pain. So it's not correct to stop the bhajan just because a devotee in trance is hurt. We should continue the bhajan. So I did not allow the bhajan to stop. We continued the bhajan, we did the aarti and then we closed it. Normally as we do, without being affected by the injury of Trimurtulu. Okay. So then Trimurtulu tells me that at the time when people stopped doing the bhajan, I had to again push them to no, don't stop the bhajan, continue the bhajan, like that, right? So at that time, when he was a little aware of himself, he could see the blood, it seems. He could see his own blood, but he was not feeling any pain. So he didn't feel anything. I mean, he was not afraid, he was not scared or anything like that, although he was seeing his own blood. So he was partially in trance, but partially aware, so he could see the blood. Okay. And then we stopped the bhajan. The blood was all cleaned up. He was dressed. Whatever needs to be done was done. But he tells us that he did not feel the pain at all until the next day evening, 4:30 or 5 o'clock. That is when he started feeling a little of the pain of the head injury. Then he felt like going and doing the meditation. So he went to Swamiji's hall at the new ashram, and then he was doing the meditation. And during the meditation, again, he did not feel the pain. Okay? So he wants to tell us that if a devotee is hurt in trance, the devotee doesn't feel the pain. It is God or Swamiji who takes over that pain also. And generally, they get healed very fast. They don't really have to go through the pain and the suffering of that injury. That we have seen with other devotees also. That by itself is a miracle actually. But we have seen that happen to a few devotees over time. Okay. Uh-huh. Anything else?